Hey, I'm Mike with VidMuze.com, and today's equipment review is going to be on the Removu R1. Now, the Removu is exactly what the name implies. It's a remote and a viewer for your GoPro. Now, this is a fairly new addition to the market of third-party GoPro accessories. Now, this device sets out to improve on the idea of wireless control and monitoring that, yes, GoPro already offers in the smartphone app. Now, because the Removu communicates via Wi-Fi, it will only be compatible currently with the Hero 3, 3 Plus, and Hero 4. Now, it's safe to assume that future versions of the GoPro will be compatible with a simple firmware update. So what all is included with the Removu R1? The Removu R1, wrist strap, USB charging cable, and quick user guide. Now, the Removu feels pretty well built. Now, its compact and simple design, it does feel pretty solid, and even the Velcro strap is pretty good quality. Now, it only weighs 75 grams. Now, the GoPro without the LCD weighs at 85 grams, so it's slightly lighter than your GoPro. Now, Removu claims that their device is, yes, splash, dust, and shock resistant, therefore allowing it to be used in just about any condition that you would normally use your GoPro. Now, of course, a major exception is that the Removu is not waterproof, so it cannot be used underwater. Now, the Removu does have an internal battery, so you can charge it via USB with the cable that you were given, so you can charge it with your computer or a 5-volt cell phone charger. Now, it does take a bit of effort to initially connect the Removu to your camera. You will have to set things up via the GoPro app in your smartphone, but then once all that's done and out of the way, the operation is a breeze. Simply power on your GoPro, the Wi-Fi does need to be enabled, turn on the Removu, and it will automatically detect your camera and connect and start streaming your video live. Now, unfortunately, because the GoPro transmits the video wirelessly over Wi-Fi, there is going to be some latency, some lag. Now, with the Removu, you're noticing about the same lag you would on your GoPro app on your smartphone. It's between 1 to 2 seconds. Now, despite the lag being a little inconvenient, it doesn't really affect us in most cases that we use the GoPro. We use the Removu to kind of set up the frame, so it works very well in that sense. I would not use the Removu during a live shot because you will not be able to make the camera changes necessary because of that latency. But starting and stopping your camera remotely is in real time, so as soon as you hit that start button, it immediately starts recording, and thankfully there's no latency with that. Now, I know a lot of you are asking, how far can the Removu work? What's the maximum distance? Well, with our extensive testing, we have found that 30 feet is a good distance if you want to maintain full frame rate. The latency is about the same. We've gone a little further, about 60 feet, it starts to get fairly laggy. We've had it work as far as 100 feet, and it's dropping a lot of frames. It's not that usable. It still starts and stops remotely, which is nice, and there is a frame of reference there, but it's not in real time at all. Because it's Wi-Fi and all the antennas are internal instead of external, the range is going to be limited. But remember, the Removu has been designed for close proximity cases. Now, those of you who need to go further distances, Removu has stated that they have successfully tested at about 230 feet. Again, the conditions have to be right. There has to be limited interference, and yes, you do need to be line of sight, LOS. So keep that in mind. Don't let your body or an object block anything between the Removu and the GoPro. You do want to keep the line of sight as clear as possible to maintain the strongest signal. Now, be aware that when using the Wi-Fi ability on your GoPro, obviously this will drain your battery down fairly quickly. Now, if you're used to using the LCD on the back, you can go ahead and remove that, and that will compensate you some battery power because obviously you're viewing everything on the Removu. Now, those of you with GoPros know we need tons and tons of batteries because, yes, it burns through our batteries very quickly. Well, we've actually used small tree batteries, which they're a little bit larger in capacity. They're a lot cheaper than your factory battery, but they work very well and hold a pretty good charge. Those you can find on Amazon. I'll have the link down in the description, but go ahead and get those, and that will further lengthen the time of your GoPro usage and, yes, help you get the shots you need throughout the day. Now, a big note, don't ever, and I mean ever, use your GoPro with Wi-Fi enabled on a multi-rotor. Such as the DJI Phantom, there have been many cases of flyaways. Yes, the Wi-Fi interfered with the GPS connectivity as well as other frequencies on the ship, confused it completely, and it said, "I'm out of here, and I will never see you again." So remember that. Don't ever fly with your Wi-Fi enabled on a multi-rotor. So now the big question, price. What is the price for the Removu R1? Well, they're currently selling it for $119. Now, the GoPro LCD sells for $79.99, so $80, so it's a $40 difference. So those of you who don't have an LCD yet, you may want to invest in the Removu. For $40 more, you can get a wireless LCD with the ability to start and stop your GoPro wirelessly. Now for the conclusion, the pros versus the cons. Number one, the Removu is more compact, durable, and mountable than a phone. And even Removu has offered this very nice accessory that you can order on their website as well that allows you to connect to any GoPro accessory and can hold the Removu very comfortably. Number two, physical buttons instead of a touchscreen for increased durability, and you can even use it while wearing gloves. Number three, wearable design for hands-free use. So you can strap it to your arm, your leg, or even your neck. Now for the cons, the dreaded cons. Well, we only have two. One is the latency, but can't really blame that on Removu. That is a Wi-Fi limitation. Number two, it only charges via USB. So again, we have that internal battery, and there's no way to swap it out with anything. So you do need to remember to keep things charged. Now, because it's a durable and wearable control and viewer, the Removu is great for anyone who uses their GoPro, especially when using the GoPro in inaccessible or inconvenient locations. Now, this is great for extreme sports. So those of you who mountain bike or snowboard and mount the GoPro to your helmets, it's great to be able to frame your shots up wirelessly, start and stop wirelessly, even play back your footage wirelessly. So in my opinion, it's a great investment for you GoPro users. So where do you go to purchase one of the R1s? Well, go to www.removu.com. The link will be down in the description. You can go ahead and purchase directly from them. So if any of you have equipment you'd like for us to review, go ahead and contact us on our website here and get in touch with us directly, and we will go ahead and take a look-see and see what your product's all about. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Again, I'm Mike with VidMuze.com. Happy GoProing and happy Removuing.